What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match preview time for the sequel of Leeds United versus Man United. Second time in a week. Unprecedented, but very excited for the upcoming game for many different reasons. I see people are doing the Wi-Fi jokes. You got to leave those in the past. The Wi-Fi is good now, people. Listen, before we get started, please hit a like on the video, and if you're watching replay, hit a like also. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and leave your comments on the section below. How is everyone doing in the chat? Yeah, listen. William Morrison saying not one quality manager is going to come mid-season until they flash ridiculous money. The only thing more ridiculous is just not to do that. And William is right. You've got to pay the money that you have to in order to get the manager. As we currently stand right now, as I record this, Arne Slot has said that he's staying at Feyenoord. He has said that himself. It hasn't been the club saying that they're not willing to let us talk to him. Although, you know, earlier in the week he did say that he would not answer the phone if Leeds called. So if Leeds had called, he would have answered the phone. But I think it's just all a public negotiation, people. I'm not worried at this stage. I'd be far more worried if we had just appointed the first person that's available. To me, that's the thing that would hurt Leeds United. And I see some fans panicking already, saying, oh, just bring in Rafa, just bring in Roy Hodgson. I'm like, no. That's the worst thing that you can do. So I'm glad the club is staying the course. But what I will say is, you know, as much as many people wanted Jesse Marsch to go out, don't then just wish for the first manager that's available to come in. That's the thing that could hurt us the most. Listen, we know we've got a good enough squad. Let's not get a bad manager to just ruin it again. You know what I mean? Let's not get a bad manager that's not going to make the squad progress. So for now, it's Skubala in until the next game. He'll be in for the Man United game. We know that him, Kurt Angle, and Anad Gallardo. So yeah, let's go. No, David's actually joking. Yeah, I think he's saying Big Sam said Lee should give him a call. But I've seen some people actually say that though, because he's a good firefighter in this league. But listen, the last time that he did try, he actually did ruin his record and he got relegated because even by then, the game had moved on. So, yeah, listen, I'm glad Andrea is taking his time and he's winding people up on Twitter in the process. I love to see it. Listen, just let's not rush this one, Leeds. Let's not rush this one. Yeah, Karen, and shout out to you as well for the super thanks, Karen, on the last video. We need to bring the right person in. It's the most important decision that we can make now, because if we get this one wrong, we're possibly looking at a Nathan Jones scenario at Southampton where he's literally on a knife edge right now. He's only been in there less than 10 league games, and they're thinking of changing him if the results don't pick up. Callum saying rather Scoobs, than the likes of Rafa and Nuno. And yeah, I mean, my thing though is, and I'll just make it clear now, I'm not getting on the Skubala should take it till the end of the season train. I think that it's good for temporary measures, not permanently though. So yeah, another game, yes, but hopefully we get that new coach in before the Everton Southampton games. I think it would be a big boost for the squad to get that coaching by then, and it gives us more chance of winning. I think we got a good chance of winning them anyway, but let's get them in before those games so you can get off to a decent start. Andre is saying here, Slot just turned down the job because he can still win the treble. Yeah, I mean, he's the top of the league, aren't they, Feyenoord? So he's got a good chance of winning the Dutch title where, you know, usually PSV or Ajax are winning that one. So listen, it's understandable, but the one with Iraola, I think that one's still, it's at a standstill, but I think there's still room to negotiate, and I don't think that one is dead just yet. So this is just a wait and see thing. But right now, this weekend is all about the Man United game, and Skubala will be there. So let's talk about the manager stuff when something else develops. I mean, that literally just developed, by the way, before I came on about Slot saying no. It's a shame though, because I do like Slot's methods. He's a very attacking manager, but if it's not to be, it's not to be. Let's have a look. Gavin Parry here saying the board of three showing their naivety yet again. I say this though, Gavin, did you see how many people were calling for Jesse Marsch's head? Now imagine if Jesse Marsch was still in the job right now, they'd still be saying, what are the board doing? Why have they still got Jesse here? When you're at that level, I know that they didn't have a ready-made replacement, but they had a short list in mind and it just hasn't gone to plan. But if Jesse Marsch was still here, people would be throwing mud at the board. So either way, they're in a no-win position right now. Yeah, I think so too. Andre's here saying, I believe Iraola wants to move, but Rayo making him pay the release clause himself. He doesn't want to force a move. Yeah, I think he's in a situation where he definitely wants to explore the option of Leeds United, but I think he's happy enough to stay there. But I think it would be a great move for him to come here. I mean, that's no bias, but he's managing Rayo Vallecano, so Leeds United in the Prem, it's a much bigger profile for him, and I think he could get us up the league. I do with his style of play. Uh, Gavin following up saying Jesse Marsh was never the right choice. Yeah, they're not going to get it right the whole time. You know, much like the right back situation. Because I've had a few comments as well. I mean, it was very interesting as well, by the way. Some of the comments in regards to what I said about Luke Ayling, and somebody shout out to you, Jack, who messaged me on Insta saying, "You know what? I see what you said about Luke Ayling after watching the highlights." And I know I never said anything bad about Luke Ayling, but let me just address this with Gavin. They're not going to make the right choice, much like the right back situation with Christiansen, with people saying, "I don't know why we got him when Luke Ayling is playing like this." But you have to take the risk and buy somebody in order to see if they're better. You're not going to get everything right. But much like with Nanto, that's a risk, isn't it? And now you wouldn't imagine moving out Nanto again for Jack Harrison, would you? But everything is a risk. But I do try and say that, but it is what it is. But yeah, the whole Luke Ayling thing as well, and I clearly said as well, but I guess it wasn't enough for some people because I didn't gas it up like all the big accounts did on Twitter. He had a good first half. He definitely had a good first half, but and he had a lot of joy with Garnacho. Garnacho, I mean, a lot of Man United fans expected Garnacho to do better against Luke Ayling. But what I said was in the second half, once Rashford moved centrally and Sancho came on, defensively, it wasn't as good for Luke. There's nothing wrong with saying that because it's true. And I watched the game again and I was right. And then about 60 to 65 minutes, Luke Ayling had run out of gas and it's part of the reason why the second goal went in because he just stopped tracking Sancho. So when I say that Luke Ayling had a decent game, he did. I'm not disputing that. But if you're looking for me to do the passion merchant thing here, this is a football channel. I support Leeds United, but I'm going to call it how I see it. And as good as it was, and that's where Skubala for me, just as a note, probably needs to look at that a bit more because you could see Luke was gassed. Bring on Rasmus for the remainder of the game and possibly leave out the substitute later of Greenwood or Mateo Joseph. I know that he works with the under 21s, but I think that bringing on a defender for Luke at that point would have been really good because up to that point he really did have a good game, but it's part of the reason why we conceded the second goal, in my opinion. Ben Turner is saying Man United underestimated us on Wednesday. They won't do that again. Yeah, listen, and that's the thing. I'm very optimistic about going into the game on Sunday, but I also believe that Man United will make the necessary adjustments. I don't think we'll see Rashford on the right this time. I think he'll start out on the left or up front instead of that big oaf Veghorst that just didn't do anything. In fact, it's not on him really. They started to spam crosses in after he went off the pitch, which must have been very frustrating for him to see. But listen, I think that he won't make that mistake. Rashford will go on the left, and then that will be a test because I expect Ayling to start again after his performance and all the hype afterwards. That he'll start again, but it's going to be a different task against Rashford. So I hope he's up for the challenge. Um, but as much as I think that we've got a better chance of winning this game, I also have in the back of my mind that Man United will be better prepared. Because, like somebody said, Ben on the screen here, I do think that they underestimated us. I think that Ten Hag thought Rashford's in good form. I'll stick him out on the right, give Garnacho his start. But now we came to play on Wednesday and we did well. So listen, it's going to be another great game. It's going to be another great game. Scally here saying Strange Rasmus has not played at all lately. I think it's quite telling, isn't it, Scally Whiskey, that even under Jesse, he was starting to be benched, and now under Skubala, he's on the bench too. So that's what I mean. If they didn't get the right backup signing right in the summer, they have to go again this summer. We need a more competent right back. Because what I'm saying though, people, Bobby here with some banter here, another free hit, tremendous. What I'm saying in regards to the right back position is the hype that Ayling got for that performance is what other teams see from their right backs week in, week out. They get solid 7-8s. And, I know Newcastle are doing well, but I think of Kieran Trippier, like that would just be a regular performance and he wouldn't tire at 60 minutes either. So that's what I'm saying. We, as good as it was for us, going forward, we have to look for better. And that's all it is, people. It wasn't a criticism of Luke. It's just that because I said this to somebody in a reply, and I think it's because he doesn't put in performances like that every week that he got overhyped for that game in totality. But it's all good. It's all good. We all see football different ways, don't we? We all see different ways. But yeah, listen, Rasmus has to. Yeah, he's in the shadows, man. Yeah. Oh, of course, the Rasmus. Tremendous, Jack. Tremendous. Yeah, he is in the shadows right now. Rasmus really is in the shadows, and it must be because of what a lot of people see. I'm not saying everybody. I say a lot of people see that he just doesn't look comfortable. You know, I liken him to Bambi on ice at times when he's running backwards. It's not. It doesn't look very comfortable, but he's going to have to be used, especially if Luke hasn't fully recovered from Wednesday night, and if he gasses out again around 60 minutes. John, I mean, this is Ayling going forward, good. Ayling in defense, not so good. Yeah, that's it. They're both the opposites. Rasmus defensively is probably better than Ayling. Going forward, he's not a patch on him, and Ayling's not even elite like that. So we do need to upgrade that in the summer. But of course, we'll talk about that in the transfer window. Billy Biglick saying, I totally agree regarding Ayling. He was really good, but not for the night. He should have come off. Yeah. And listen, a couple people did, like I say, one person messaged me, and I appreciate that because not everybody does that. Not everybody like says, you know what, I got it wrong. You were right. And it's not about being right, but it's just you never get that. Whenever you're wrong, people are quick to tell you, by the way. And listen, I've got something wrong on here, and I always remember it. It was Jack Harrison. I don't know if people remember. I don't remember the game. But I said Jack Harrison had a good game one time, and all of you in the chat were saying, "No, he didn't. No, he didn't." I said, "Really? He didn't?" And I looked back on the game, and he was like, "He wasn't even all that." I was like, "You know what? Fair enough. I got that one wrong. You got me." See, it happens, doesn't it? It happens. Air Ace here is saying, "Save Bamford as a dub in the second half. Start Ruta. Save Harrison. Start Rocker. 4-3-3. You got to change it up." Hey, listen, and I'm all with that as well. And what I will say with Jorginho, because there was a lot of people saying about Jorginho that he was quite poor. But what I'll say to that is at the time that he came on, we were under the cosh. Man United were having all the ball, and he did what he could do. He held it up. He won a couple free kicks, but we weren't in the same kind of mode we were like in the first 25 minutes of the first half. So it's very, very hard to judge him on that because we didn't get a lot of the ball in the second half. So what I would say is, give him time because at the little sites that we've seen of him, we can see what he's about. And also, he hasn't played a lot of football since November. But yeah, I'm all for that. I think with Bamford, while he's in the as someone rightly said, the Firmino mode, maybe even start him again on Sunday. Let's hope he can get that because if we're not going to get that, I mean Matt Deco also here, Jorginho or Bamford. I think with the way Bamford was in the last game, let's start him again. Let's roll him out again. If he can keep performing like that, be in the link up for Nanto and Somerville, then I'm all for it. For now. Um, but what I will say as well, it's important for me to see Nanto, Somerville back on the pitch together. I've used them as the picture because they're so key and their connection is just too good for us to pass up. Both of them heavily involved in the goals on Wednesday, just like they have been in every big game that we've had. Liverpool as well. Doesn't matter. Those two are our players. And if I don't know if you guys have seen it, people, the Nanto chat for other teams. Oh, we should go and get him for 50 million. Oh, we should get him for 40. It's like, what are these teams on about? I just see Mudryk go to Chelsea for 100 million. And you think you're going to get Nanto for 50? Come on now. Let's not do this. Yeah, Lewis, the future is bright. It's absolutely bright. That's why the coaching decision is vitally important. Scally Whiskey, three in the midfield for me. Yeah, definitely again. McKennie Adams, let's keep that rolling. Let's keep that going. But if Rocker's available, we don't know. Yet again, this is about the press conference. He was very cards close to his chest again. He did say Pascal will be missing through the concussion protocol, which I definitely agree with, by the way. And possibly Sinistera could be back for the game, but I would probably say no, as it looked like a hamstring, didn't it? But again, he was very vague in what the injuries are, and I'm all for that. And I think we need to get that back again. Remember, we had a coach before the last one, Bielsa, saying he used to give out the first 11 which just was not helpful. And then obviously Jesse at the start of every press conference would tell you who's out and who's going to be fit. I think it's good because if we don't know who's going to be playing, neither does the opposition manager, and they can't prepare a couple days before like they could before. So I kind of like that veil of mystery that Skubala does in the press conference. Mr. P saying, my concern with Bamford is his poor touches when in on goal. However, link up seems to be fine. Exactly, Mr. P. When he's in on goal, I'm never confident that he's going to score, I'll be honest. But when he's got his back to goal and he's letting Somerville and Nanto come in, I think he's absolutely fine. You know, I mean, he's got obviously you'd like him to get more goals, but if he can link up and let Nanto and Somerville do their thing, let's go with it. Let's go with it. Karen saying Nanto is not for sale at any cost. Nah, not for me. Not for me. I wouldn't. I think he's here next season as well. By the way, I think he's here next season. Callum asking, you're not concerned about the manager situation? Well, of course, I'd like it to be resolved as soon as possible, Callum. But I want it to be the right person. The last thing I want to see is Rafa Benitez rolling in till the end of the season. I just don't think it's a good idea in terms of just rushing the appointment. So I'm glad that they're giving it till after the weekend. And then we get that permanent appointment next week. Because for me, it's got to be a long-term thing. It's got to be a long-term thing. Neil Evans, I had this question before. Neil Evans is asking, what do you think of Michael Carrick? I think he's doing a brilliant job at Middlesbrough and has unlocked a few players there in terms of getting the best out of them, Akpom especially. But Michael Carrick needs to carry on at Middlesbrough. So I wouldn't get him here if that's what you're asking. But he's doing a good job, and he's learning on the job in the Championship where he should be. No problem with that. Seastone is saying, can't have a defensive manager when we don't have defensive players. Look how that worked for West Brom with Big Sam. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I just worry about that. You can shore it up at the back, but then you can take away from the attack. And listen, that's the last thing that we need to be doing. So, yeah, you can see with the current coaches that we've been linked with, they've all been pretty, 4-3-3 attacking kind of coaches. Let's carry on with that. But let's just wait. Let's just wait and see what Rads does. Let's see. Mr. P saying, I think going forward, the 49ers are not just like Andrea selling off our crown jewels just because we can get money for him. What I'll say with that, Mr. P, is that he hasn't got the assets like the 49ers, so there probably won't be any need for us to do that. And if we do it, it's going to be on our terms. It's not going to be a case of, oh, you bid 40 million. Well, thank you. We'll accept that. No, it's going to be, excuse me, I saw Mudryk go for 100. Nanto has done way more already in this league than Mudryk. We got to talk around those figures. But I agree with you, Mr. P. I don't think we're going to be letting go of players on the cheap. And I think we'll build on them as well. I think that's the only way we're going to go at the table, people. We can't keep letting these players go. I think someone like Nanto as well will stay. Personally, I think he stays next season. Joanne's impressed with Scoobs. Yeah, I hope he has another good one on Sunday, man. Him and Kurt Angle. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, literally, there wasn't much to say from the press conference. So, yeah, there wasn't anything. The press conference was literally 10 minutes long, and I think I've given you all the information from there. Let's have what's everyone saying? Carl Tanner here. Rads has become an impediment to this club. Should have sold last summer. Yeah, I don't know if it's his choice though, Carl. I think the 49ers maybe, I know they've got the option up to 2024, but I think it's going to happen this summer. I genuinely believe it's going to happen this summer. They've already had a hand in the transfers that they're going to be paying for in the future. So I think it happens in the summertime. I do. Gavin saying that Ten Hag says McTominay, Anthony, Martial likely to miss this Sunday. Yeah, I think they're out for a little bit longer as well. So, yeah, I mean they're still going to have players missing. Casemiro is going to be missing again. But what I do not worry about, but what I'm aware of is just that Ten Hag won't take this lightly again, and we will see Rashford start out on the left. And Rashford is red hot. He's absolutely red hot. So. Yeah, we just got to do our game plan, but just not be naive enough to think that the performance on Wednesday, Man United aren't going to come back even stronger. But I still think we got a chance to win. Still think we've got a chance to win, personally. We'll do score prediction in just a bit. Adam saying Rucker for Harrison could be a decent improvement for the next game. Yeah, definitely gives us more balance. Definitely gives us more balance in terms of just McKennie and Adams doing what they do, and then Rucker who can actually, no offense to Jack, but Rucker who can actually pass the ball in a better way with more accuracy. I would say that would be a good shout, and Harrison come on in the second half, or maybe Rucker in the second half, depending on his injury. We don't know, do we? So we just have to wait and see. Graham here saying, great press conference, great, no BS. Yeah, he don't mess around, man. He don't mess around at all. I love it. I do like it though. I will say, I will say, I do like that approach much better than telling everybody who's available. Even for someone like me, that would, if you ask me who I'd like to see playing, then we don't see him playing on Sunday because they're out. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Let's have a look. Mr. P here saying Nanto is only just starting out. If his progress continues in the same vein, he's going to be a hell of a player in 2 to 3 years. Just imagine. Yeah, the ceiling's high. I mean, we've got a couple players that are ceilings of really, really high. He's definitely, obviously, the pick of the bunch. But let's not forget Somerville as well, who was key in that second goal. He's the one that caused Varane to put it in his own net. But his movement, the way that he links up with the front at the front, I think it's understated because Nanto is just doing so well. But Somerville, for me, has been a key part of what we've been able to do this season. So hopefully he stays fit and carries on in the way that he is as well. But yeah, listen, people, let's get into score predictions. Let's get into score predictions as we wrap this one up. Leeds United versus Manchester United at Elland Road. Ooh, what are we saying, people? Give me your score predictions. What are we saying? For me, right, yeah. Look, I should have thought of this before. David here saying a 1-1 draw. Gavin Parry 3-2 to Leeds. That would be lovely. And yes, if you're watching the replay, put your score predictions in the comments below. Deshaun's going for a 3-3. Lord have mercy. Diggler saying 3-0 to Leeds. That would be tremendous. Bandy's going 4-1 to Man United. Lord have mercy. Louise is saying 3-2 to Man U. Wayne saying a Desmond again. Jamie saying 2-1 to Leeds. 2-2, yeah. That seems to be the general consensus, 2-2. Yeah. Oof, man. Man. I'm either thinking 1-1 or no. You know what? Let me just go 1-1. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, and we move on from there. Go on to Everton, Southampton. But if we could win, please win. That would be amazing if we could get the win. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Man United have learned their lessons and come to Elland Road and win as well. So I'm hoping that it's at least a draw, and then we take that and move on. That would be ideal for me. Listen, Matt here, fear for Junior playing 90 minutes and not getting twisted. Well, listen, there's getting twisted, Matt, and then there's also just stopping in your tracks because you're knackered as well. But no one seems to be talking about that. But I get it. Yeah, but listen, Junior is obviously going to start with Pascal out, unless there's an adjustment if Cooper's back and they move Verber to left back. But personally, for me, I want to see Verber and Koch remain in that partnership. Get Firpo on. I don't think Firpo did badly when he came on either. I don't think he did any worse than the right back did in terms of leaving space at times. So yeah, for me, Firpo, at least Firpo as well, can get up and down. I know he's not the greatest defensively, but he does give us something on the left. So for me, I'm all right with Firpo starting. I really am. But guys, these are the players that we've got until the summer. Yes, if we're still seeing them next season, then it's like, damn, how did we not replace them? But till the end of the season, we got to back these people. We got to back them. So as much as it gives you a heart attack, seeing Firpo in defense, I know some of you just are not having him at all. For me, I think it gives us fine balance in this kind of system as well. Yeah, either way, Elland Road will bounce. It's going to be a good atmosphere. I can imagine. And Jim here saying Firpo's the only real option at left back. Yeah, exactly. Unless I just don't see the point in moving Verber out to left back when he's forming such a good partnership with Robin Koch. You know what I mean? And as well with Robin Koch as well, by the way, because I did praise his game so well. He also got out jumped by Rashford, and that happens. It doesn't just because somebody gets out jumped doesn't mean the game's not perfect. But you can say that though, innit? You can say they've had a good game overall, but there were mistakes in there. There's nothing wrong with pointing it out. But Rashford's on fire right now, and Robin Koch just didn't get the jump on him. But as a partnership, Verber and Koch, it's looking promising. And also as well, we didn't win the game as well. That's the thing as well in terms of in terms of saying that there wasn't any deficiencies. We were 2-0 up and we drew the game. So obviously there was errors in there somewhere. There's nothing wrong with pointing those out. I've seen that in terms of what Luis is talking about. But you know what, Luis, in terms of Ayling new contract, I certainly wouldn't do it. I certainly wouldn't do it at all. Like at all. The only way, and this is the only way that it could happen, is if we're selling Christensen and then getting in a real right back, and Luke is just the backup. Because I could possibly stomach it that way. But if you're talking about Rasmus and Luke being our right backs next year, nah, not for me. But that is the only way I could stomach that. Let's have a look. Yeah, and there's still drama to sort out as well. But listen, we'll talk about that all in the summer. Right. Couple of super chats from Alex. Thank you for the support, Alex. McKennie scoring on Sunday at ER would be mental. Yeah, seeing that Harry Potter wizard come out. Yeah, let's do it. And he says, "Who are your goal scorers for Sunday?" Well, it's quite a lazy one for Man United. I'm going to say Rashford, and for us, I'm going to say Somerville. Mark here saying, "Do you think if Firpo had not come on the field, we would have won?" No, I mean, what's that? No, I don't. I mean, listen, yeah, he didn't stop the cross for the first goal for the header. That's correct. But the person that's got the man of the match and everything else like that stopped running for the second goal. I just don't see the difference. Maybe you guys could tell me. Matt saying your streams get me through the week, AG. But yeah, listen, thank you. And listen, I get quite a few messages like that as well, by the way. Just thank you for that. You know, it's good to know that this thing isn't for no reason. It's good to see that it helps people out. And if it helps just one person, then I've done an all right job, I think. So, no, but thank you for rocking with me, man. Seriously. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, thought Firpo played well. To be honest, did a job. Yeah, he did a good job. It's just that I think once people get a thought in their head, no matter what that person does or says, then they just can't stomach whatever they do. I think it's just one of those things. You know what I mean? Is what it is, though. Mr. P saying, would Cody and Elder be at the club if no Jesse Marsh? I'm not sure about Yelder, Mr. P, but maybe Cody Drame if someone else. But listen, they're not here. You know, Jesse Marsh believed that he was going to have Cody from here next season, but obviously that's not going to happen. We'll just see what happens. The way it's gone with Cody, I don't know if he's going to trust another manager come the summertime, because he would have heard it last summer with Jesse saying you're going to get more game time. Lo and behold, you know, our two right backs haven't been convincing all season long, and he didn't really get a good run in the team. Like a 2-3 game run, I think would have satisfied just to see what he could do long term, but it didn't happen. Is he going to listen to a third manager? We'll have to wait and see. Jack saying here, Melier was weak again on the second goal. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that saying he was unsighted, but I think you got to get your wrist a bit stronger. You know what I mean? No rude jokes there, but I think his wrist just have to be strong on that one. But listen, it is what it is. But yeah, listen, yeah, I will. Yeah, listen. Leeds Rhinos looking to buy Firpo. Well impressed with the Rashford tackle. The amount of stick I saw for that, which kind of tells me how people watch the game. That was a tactical yellow, people. You take those. You absolutely take those. From the halfway line where he did the foul, that's how you stop counterattacks and get scored on very easily. It was a smart tackle. It really was. But there were some people that were absolutely hounding him for it. But there was a smart tackle there. But unlike the right, where there wasn't, when we was under pressure before the second goal went in, they just carried on playing through us. But that one, it breaks up the play. And it's like, well, if you can get us on a set piece, good luck to you. But yeah, it was the right thing to do. Exactly, NJ1. 100%, 100%. But yeah, I think that's it for the preview. I will be back here after the game Sunday, so of course come and join me there, and we'll break down the game and everything else like that as we always do. Until then, people, like, subscribe, drop your score predictions in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you Sunday, people. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace out.